So, bro, are you going to meet up with Fish Girl?
You know we're unmuted. You know they can hear us right now. Fishy, fishy.
Wake up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
That's me.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
The complexion. Remember Jason Williams?
Wake up Woodward crew. He's actually a part.
Oh, there they go. They can hear us. Fish Girl. I don't know who likes Fish Girl more, me or Ryan's reaction.
Along with JB and KG.
White chocolate and dark chocolate?
White chocolate and dark chocolate.
The cacao plant?
Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. The show for
Look at Star
Detroit,
Thompson and Ron Holland.
with people
We're
from
brothers of the same being.
Set an alarm because it's time.
You can be Andre 3000, I'll be Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, I love that.
Dude,
love that.
One, let's get it.
What up, though?
Let's get it.
It's Wake Up Woodward. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously,
So much.
The NBA draft was last night. The NHL draft is tomorrow night. I can't wait to see how Justin, Spinny, Sam, all of their takes about the Red Wings and everything that the Iser plan is or isn't.
As we're playing 1919.
Justin's in the back cooking up something right now. I know he is.
Yeah, definitely. But what up, though, people? Thank you guys for choosing to kick off today with the Wake Up Woodward crew. As always, chat family, you guys are the most important part of this whole thing. And you know what? Since we didn't have any intro music, let's just go ahead and satisfy that like button real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to take my shirt off.
Oh my gosh.
shit.
I'm kidding.
Satisfy the like button. Look at Broder over here jazzing it up just a little bit.
Sing it, Kool-Aid.
So
Ladies
you
get in
gotta
free.
Go and just smash that like
Drink
button.
specials till midnight, everybody.
Just do it right. Hey.
I just danced on live national TV. International.
Hey.
And lean
you know
back.
what?
Lean back.
Woodward Sports is a stage of dreams.
I know, right? Dude, it feels like Friday. Do you see the stage of dreams?
Yeah.
I like that. We had a little Field of Dreams, little comparison
I like
there.
it,
I
man.
like
I
it.
like it.
I like it.
The talent's on display.
It feels like Friday, man. Chat,
does.
feels like Friday.
It
Not
does.
gonna lie.
It really does.
I mean, especially standing up last night, I think one of the things I definitely have to do, especially as you guys are hitting that like button, is thank all of you all who supported us last night with the NBA draft show live stream that we did in Watch Party. 4,000 views and counting, a whole rack of likes, a lot of engagements during the show. We were able to give out some merch, so we need you guys when we do these live streams, continue to stay tapped in. We've seen a couple of you in the chats as well say, hey, when are we bringing back the chat merch? So it was cool to be able to kick it off last night during the NBA draft, watching Detroit Pistons select somebody that we are going to talk about today.
I'm so glad we got to sleep on it before like diving into this because we all have our initial reactions from yesterday. I am so white.
Did you say white or white?
White.
Oh, okay. I was
White.
because we were here for pretty late last night.
Yeah, and I've grown. This is the first step in whatever Trajan Langdon's doing, but I'm much more optimistic about this pick after sleeping on it.
I am.
You know, going and reading some articles, listening to some people online, and hearing the real basketball minds talk about him. The ones who've been following him for a couple of years now. There's a lot of potential. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm excited about it. I mean, it's kind of like I'm very grateful that we on the show yesterday made sure that we talked about what our reaction was or wasn't. It wasn't against Ron Holland as a player. It was more or less the situation. Everything that people had seen up to that point and everything that we believed was a need that the Detroit Pistons needed to be able to fill was shooting.
Yeah.
That's it. So when you get to there and you realize, hey, this guy, when we covered him in our draft talk, because he was in our top 10, we are not saying he's a slouch of a player. He's in our top 10. It's just, it didn't fit any of the narrative of what we believed this Pistons team needed. And you know what? This is Trajan Langdon's pick to make.
Yeah.
If you're in that top 5, maybe you swing for the fences, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it more, man.
Spacing and shooting.
Yeah.
That was like the one detail we really got about a long-term strategy. He doesn't exactly fit that, but again, this is just step one. We're going to speculate on what's to come both in round 2, what this means for other players on the roster, what this means for just the plan in general. It's so early. Yeah. Well, we got to speculate. This is our Pistons. We got so many people in the chat, so many people in Detroit that want this team to be good.
Man, I like
Please
this,
just
man.
be good.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I can't wait until we get into this next segment where we can really clarify how we feel about Ron Holland, what Trajan Langdon's probably up to, and the fact that, honestly, I believe he went, in his own mind, best player available with that pick. But we're gonna talk about it, man. You want to tell the people what we're going to be talking about? And shout out to Woodward Sports MVP, JBSMOOOOOV. I know that dude Justin is here as well.
Glorious.
Man, it was a late night last night. So
It was.
Shout out to the rest of the squad.
It was. You don't see Justin right now because he's in the back cooking up his big hockey big board. No, his big hockey board. His big board for the Red Wings that he's going to whip out at 9 o'clock. So we're going to be talking Red Wings in the second hour. Actually, I have to take off in the second hour. So
you can
Justin,
say this mock gives you wings.
It does.
Hey.
It does. It does. So Justin's going to be up here leading a Red Wings segment. I think you guys might be talking some UFC in the second hour. We're going to carry the Pistons for a while. Most of this first hour, we might touch on the Tigers for 5 or 6 minutes, but this first hour is going to be a lot of Pistons. We're going to talk about Ron Holland. We're going to talk about the fit with the team, what it means long term. We're going to talk about a little bit of the NBA draft, just round one. What are some of the takeaways? What are other teams? Big good picks, bad picks, sleepers, good fits, all of the above. Why did Dalton Connect fall to the Lakers? Zach Edey, top 10. Bronny, not drafted. We got a lot to talk about, but NBA draft is going to be heavy here in the first hour with the Pistons, some NHL, and some UFC in hour number 2.
Hey, little
But speaking of Kool-Aid,
yes, sir.
it's just kind of a joke, but were you surprised Bronny did not go in round 1?
Oh, my word. Breaking news.
Breaking
LeBron
news.
James' son doesn't go in round 1.
I know, right?
How dare
LeBron
you
James
not
does
pick
not have the power that he thought he did. No, I'm not surprised at all.
Honestly, like for all the offseason, there was something weird. There was a little bit of me that was like, man, I think something weird's going to happen this first round just because of the weakness of the draft. I was like, this might actually happen. We'll see if he gets drafted today. But no, one of the things I wanted to touch on, Matthew Kruger called it all along. He's been calling Zach Edey's name. I think this is one of the more surprising, although there were a lot of surprises in the lottery yesterday. One of the more surprising ones was Zach Edey, former Purdue center, 7'4", going number 9 to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, that was surprising. I think that the biggest swap to me in terms of people who went way higher than expected and some people who probably went a little lower is Connect and Zach Edey. Those two met up here in Detroit, and we actually got to cover that game during the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I don't know quite exactly what the plan or the idea is with Zach Edey, but he has some discernible skills. There were some things we talked about that we did like, but it was just about who is he going to be on defense.
Yeah.
So
he's a beast. It's whether he can keep up in today's NBA game. It's a lot of up and down the court. Like that's his one. He's huge. I mean, he is a massive human being, and he can play in the post, but that's not exactly the way the NBA is nowadays. I don't think that's the way the Grizzlies play. I do just kind of philosophically thinking about it. I like pairing Jaren Jackson Jr. with a true center, but we'll see how it all works out. Again, this is so early. I know JB was a huge Zach Edey. He wanted Zach Edey to the Pistons.
No, hell no.
What do you think?
I am not a fan of Zach Edey. I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have failed to like the second round. I just don't care for the dude. He's tall, big, and slow for no reason. Like I just didn't like him at all. But hey, Memphis, you got a guy. You got a guy. Hopefully it works out for you. I don't really know, but still not a fan of Zach Edey.
Shout out Dante151. He said he's not a Piston, and I'm fine with that.
Right. He's in Memphis. That was a surprise one. We're going to talk more NBA drafts, but the Pistons, and so we expected, and we were kind of talking before the draft yesterday. Yeah. Like, I mean, I thought there was going to be a lot of trades, like from maybe pick 3 to the rest of the first round. I thought there were going to be trades galore, especially once Klingon started to fall.
Yeah.
Once Stephon Castle went 4 to the Spurs. I also think that's a phenomenal pick for them, but he went earlier than expected. Ron Holland went earlier than expected, but we were sitting there at 5 and like, okay, like how many picks can the Pistons accumulate from the Grizzlies, from the Blazers? Yeah, it didn't happen. There weren't many significant trades. Definitely not in the lottery.
Nope.
But some of the targets that the Pistons have been going after in free agency we found out they're off the market like right before the draft.
Right away.
We're talking OG Anunoby. He re-signs with the Knicks. And I want, maybe you can remind the chat too, how the Knicks are able to afford all these guys, like re-signing. They can go over.
Yeah, they can go over the cap to re-sign their own players that they've already had on their roster. Yeah. And honestly, if their owner wants to just pay that luxury tax and that luxury tax times 2, then that's just on him to be able to do it. You do that in situations where you believe we can go out and we can win a championship right now. When you mortgage your future the way the Knicks did to get Mikal Bridges in here, giving away so many first-round picks, you got to do everything you can to win that championship. And believe me, the Knicks owner is not hurting. He's not hurting.
He's not hurting for money.
He's not hurting.
That team, the term dogs gets used. I've said it before. I think it gets used a little too much. Diminishes the true dogs.
Yeah.
They would be dogs. Like, they are bulldogs. Like, we're talking about retaining OG Anunoby, and then you got Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Hartenstein. Like, the list goes on. They got to re-sign Hartenstein. They need a center, but OG's off the board. Nick Claxton's off the board.
Yeah.
That one surprised me. He gets his $25 million a year, 4 years, $100 million with Brooklyn. I didn't think he would be re-signing there. I thought Brooklyn was going to be truly like cleaning house, like getting rid of their whole house. I thought they were going to go into next season with the G League roster. Yeah. Nick Claxton, he's a good player.
He's a really good player. And what these signings tell me is that these teams knew if we don't get these deals done right now before the draft, there are teams out there that will go and just throw a blank check at these players. And that's what these signings tell me, when you get it done before the draft rather than later.
Yeah.
And so with the OG Anunoby, getting his check, with Nick Claxton, getting what he wanted, because initially the reports was that he was going to get 25 from another team, that the Nets were probably going to max out or cap out at 20, 21, or 22 million annually. But if he got the full bag from the Nets, it's proving that they do believe that he's a part of whatever they want.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a strategy for free agency so they can start to trade and try and acquire picks, or are they really trying to be a competitive team moving forward, because I just don't quite know the fit right now.
Right.
It looks like they're a team that's angling to play for the future, receiving all of those first-round picks from the Knicks, but then you go and you give Nick Claxton the $25 million a year. So
wild.
I don't know. You still got Cam Johnson on there making, what, $25, $30 million a year as well.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Let's talk about Ron Holland in the next segment. But we got to say good morning to KG. KG, you wanted Bronny in the lottery. You wanted him to go early. Bronny and Zach Edey, baby.
Absolutely.
What's up, dog?
Hey, man, I'm still
tables,
right. No, I'm still kind of processing the whole thing, man. But like you said, it just kind of seems like maybe it's a long play at this point, and I'm starting to just come to grips with that. But we'll get into Ron Holland himself, the player, next segment, man.
Let's break it down. Let's work this out together, boys. Let's work this out like you could do at Planet Fitness, because
with no judgment.
It's home of the judgment-free zone, where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. I have a message for you before the end of this read. Also, at Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. Until Friday, until tomorrow, you get it all for $10 a month. On Friday, after Friday, I think Saturday, they're raising the price for their their basic membership. They don't have a basic, not their black card, their basic one. It's going to be $15. But if you sign up before then, you get your $10 a month for the extension of your membership. So go sign up, get a Black Fitness. Did you say a Black Fitness? I'm really butchering this.
I appreciate our inclusion.
Black Fitness.
Black Fitness card.
I wish I had some of that Black Fitness, by the way, back in high school. $15 a month. Go get your membership before Friday. It truly is a great gym, and $15 is a deal. It's still a deal. There's no rock wall, obviously. And now I'm rambling. Go to Planet Fitness, or your fitness is essential.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Are you dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues? Sorry for smiling while reading that. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham, they got your back. 10 plus years of experience. If you're a client of theirs, they got 24/7 availability. So scan the QR code above my head on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Take your black fitness card, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they got your back.
Oh, my God. Hey, what up, y'all, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate y'all for choosing to kick off your second round of the NBA Draft Day with the Woo Crew. We got 5 of us in here, 4 to starting 5. Flannel Sam will be on Big D Energy today. You want to catch that because he and Neil were already getting spicy last night on the NBA Draft Show. But shout out to the rest of the crew. We got a Detroit Stonewall draft pick in the building. That is KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. What up, though?
Hey, what up, though, man?
And we got Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. That is JBSMOOOOOV.
JBSMOOOOOV.
What's up, fellas?
And up here on the desk, it's our credentialed Tigers Alliance reporter, Matthew Broder.
There are moments where you should probably leave those details out.
And it is your credentialed Pistons reporter, Brandon did. And you know what? Guys.
What?
Broder, I think, man, you might mess up your invite to the picnic, bro.
What?
He put it out there, guys.
You're exposing
the
us,
Black
man.
Fitness card, you're not supposed to talk about it. We let him in on it.
Bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, KG, JB, I'm going to need you guys' help to tell the people what the Black Fitness card actually gets you.
What are the amenities?
What, KG?
Jail time.
Get extra time in the yard plus a full subscription to Jet Magazine.
Oh, my gosh, bro. What, man? A Black and Mild rap a week?
At
least one?
It.
At least one. Yeah.
At least one?
It's got to be wood, not plastic. Don't bring that plastic.
Yep.
So you guys do top 5 today on Big D Energy?
We did it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Top 5 sauces. It was pretty good.
Was it good?
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, right on cue. Oh my gosh! Top 5 amenities. You could do amenities of the Black Fitness card. What comes with it?
Oh, Neil will have a field day with that
Yeah.
one. I don't even know
card.
if I should drop that one.
What would Neil say?
No, he'd be excited for it. I know that. That's all I'm saying.
Everybody gets a bottle of hot sauce.
Right.
Wait, JB, what'd you say? I
man.
didn't hear.
I said everybody gets a bottle of hot sauce.
Hey, you know what? Yo, I need the
Talking.
chat family as well to tell me, man, and this can get off the rails. Let me know what you think comes with the Black Fitness card. You said a bottle of hot sauce?
Yep. I got the big industrial sized bottle of hot sauce too, you know.
Hey, 550 credit score.
Oh, my God. Cease.
I'm just picturing that. That family that was pouring Hennessy in their crawfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do that so bad.
Why?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm trying
Have a
to
go of it, man.
I'm trying to gain respect from my
That's all
fellow
you.
comrades.
Hey, that's all you, man.
Oh, man. But you know what?
This is 4 brothers in here.
Hey, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
Is that Tyrese and Andre 3000?
3 stacks.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
Put a Wahlberg.
Word.
Hey, but let's get into this NBA draft. We had to lighten the mood a little bit before.
Pun
the
intended?
Detroit Pistons selected Ron Holland, the 18-year-old of the G League Ignite, number 5 overall. 6'8", and I've heard some people say he's probably more like 6'7".
Yeah.
But he still has some room to grow. He's one of those guys that I don't believe his man weight has necessarily set in. When you talk
His
about
man weight.
the man weight. When you look
Man
at Dalton Connect, 23 years old, when you look at Sadiq Bey, when the Pistons drafted him, you could tell that he was older. You could tell that man weight had set in. His body was a little bit more filled out. Ron Holland isn't there yet. But I like what he brings to the table. I know that our initial reaction last night was one that probably looked like, you know what, not necessarily happy with the pick. And I think that there's a lot of questions, and it's fair because everything leading up to it, from a lot of the talking heads, a lot of the scouts, a lot of reports, was that Ron Holland was somebody that you could get if you traded back in this draft. But this draft proved so much to us that the value wasn't quite what we thought it was.
Yeah.
When you see Rob Dillingham, that trade for way down the road future first-round picks, 2031, that's when you start to realize the trade-back options probably weren't there for the Detroit Pistons. So at that point in time, you have to decide between this. Do you go and get somebody who has a low ceiling but can step in right away and help you with one of these needs that we have right now in the squad, which one of the primary ones, shooting, and more shooting. Obviously, we have a need for a defensive presence, like what Klingon could provide or what maybe Memphis is hoping Zach Edey provides. So there were some needs. We knew 3-and-D type of wing. There were some shooters on the board, but the Detroit Pistons, in my opinion, and this is what you have to do when you're in the top 5, they took a swing for a home run type of a hit. The high potential guy, a guy who just within a season ago was the number 1 prospect in terms of who people thought could go number 1 in the draft. This is not a guy to just kind of sneeze at. The talent is there. The only issue we talked about on the draft show as well, Ron Holland, was the shooting. But everything else is there. And he did this in the G League, not in college.
Yeah, we'll get critical on him, but let's talk about the things that are good about his game. Let's talk about what we like, because he did do a lot of things while in the G League, leading up to the G League, becoming the top prospect in the nation. And he's a bucket at 18.
Absolute bucket.
Talk about his usage rate. Talk about some of the things he did playing in the G League against bigger guys. Against, I don't want to say grown men, because there's still young kids in there too, but more developed guys. So he averaged 2.5 steals a game. I know you got some stuff prepared.
Yeah.
But he does have a lot good about his game, just not shooting, and we'll get to that.
Yeah. And the shooting, that's a conversation to have, because Trajan Langdon has some good comments about that as well. But Ron Holland, 6'8", 208 pounds, 18.5 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 2.1 steals, and 1.1 blocks. And this is in the G League, which is going to be a little bit, it's going to be tougher competition and more NBA type competition than college. So I do value these stats. It's not that I believe these are things that's just going to be a one-to-one equivalent. It's just going to transfer over. But as it relates to what he's already proven against NBA-style defenses and within NBA-style offenses, Ron Holland has proven that he can handle the volume everywhere except for shooting from behind the arc. But it's one season. But 47.4% from the field on 15.5 field goal attempts per game. That's a whole lot of shots a game. And to be able to shoot 48%, he was doing a lot of good. So when I look at this thing, the three-point shooting is 24% on 3.1 three-point.
Yeah, so that's not good.
Attempts per game.
That's
not good at all. And it doesn't fill any of the needs. But if you could get that shot right, which is something that Trajan Langdon was talking about.
Fred Vinson.
And that's why he mentioned Fred Vinson. That's why you hire a Fred Vinson to this to be here. And another one of the things that we discussed last night as well was, what does this mean for the logjam on the wing? Because you already have an Asar Thompson here. We saw how that played out, a guy who couldn't necessarily shoot, but could bring it on a defensive end, which is something Ron Holland can do. The difference between the two, though, is that Ron Holland has a lot more to his game, where he could even probably play the two, a big two guard.
That's a big two guard.
He's a very, very versatile player. He got the handle. Obviously, some things you want to tighten up on. But Langdon actually, and I want to credit Omari Sankofa for putting this out there from the post-draft press conference last night. Langdon on Holland and Asar. He says, I think they can play together. I think they can play on different units, and they may not look good together at first, but they're young, developing players. That's going to happen when they're 18 and 19. And on their athleticism, he says, I think they're similar. High compete level, high ability to impact defensive end, elite athleticism and size for the position, big-time rebounders. Those guys are hard to find now. So they're taking a big swing on high reward. It's going to come with some risk, and I don't think it's that much risk. We can't have this kind of revisionist narrative right now. We said going into this draft that we would be okay if they traded the pick. We said going into this draft that we would be okay, if they deprioritized the youth movement and started to make a move towards adding players that we think can impact them right now. They're going to make a pick in this draft. I'm not going to necessarily cry about what the player was or wasn't, though I wanted shooting. I like Dalton Connect. Klingon was on the board. You're taking a swing at a guy who could bring you so much more if Ron Holland pans out to be what a lot of these scouts for years have said he is.
Yeah, good. Is it safe to say that the risk is just the fit with the Pistons, how they're currently constructed, just it not working out versus the risk of the player? He's got a ton of high upside. We don't necessarily know his floor, but he's a very well-rounded young player. Shooting is just his biggest weakness, and that's the Pistons' biggest need, which makes this so hard to understand. All right, like, why? We were talking, or Trajan Langdon was talking about shooting and spacing. He doesn't fit that. But what that tells me is, A, there's probably another move to come, because you're talking about the logjam with the forwards / wings, a logjam with forwards and wings that aren't the best shooters outside of Simone Fontecchio. But if you do want to build a team that plays better defense, because they were so bad at defense last year, he's arguably the most complete defender, or at least maybe has the highest upside as a defender in this draft.
He showed the best defense at the highest level of play that a prospect can play.
Yeah.
So
I do subscribe to the notion that I would rather draft offense and coach defense, like try to bring out find a coach who can bring out that effort to play good defense. But it's like I'm trying to picture this if they didn't draft Asar Thompson last year, who I think of as somewhat of a similar player. Ron Holland's actually probably more developed, a better offensive player by far. I don't know. I like a lot about him. It's just hard to picture without another shooter on the team, without them going out and getting another shooter. But again, there are guys with what Sacramento did. Kevin Huerter might be on the block. Like Zach LaVine, if they make that trade, that automatically adds some shooting, some athleticism to that backcourt. So it's not a finished product. I can't get past the fact that he can't shoot. Here's what I really want to picture, at least. I hope that on draft night, or even preparing for draft night, that Fred Vinson went up to Trajan Langdon and was like, oh, I can fix that. Like, I see something there. His three-point shot isn't broke. I can fix that. So if you want to take that player, I got you, Trajan. I hope that happened.
Yeah, and you know what? Shout out to Kevin O'Connor, NBA. He says, Ron Holland to the Pistons. This is great news for him with Fred Vinson there as an assistant coach. Vinson is one of the best shot doctors on the planet, helped overhaul Lonzo's mechanics and turned Ingram into a reliable shooter. Made his biggest difference with Herb Jones. And you can find those stats out there. He helped people raise their percentages as much as 6 and 7% from behind the arc. And what I like about Ron Holland is this. He took a low amount of volume. Sometimes with a guy like that who shows to be able to have some offensive game, maybe if he takes 6 or 7 threes a game, like you saw with the Dalton Connect, maybe he finds that percentage get up to actually 30%. Because shooters like him generally get better as the volume increases. And so when I'm looking at this 3.1 and did kind of the quick math, the goal here for Vincent is, can you help Holland within those 3.1 attempts make one more 3 a game? Right now he's sitting at 0.77 made threes a game. Can you help him get up to 1.8 made threes a game? And that's the 3-point percentage that you would like from Ron Holland if he's not going to shoot a high volume. And if he's going to shoot a high volume, can you make 2 of 6 threes a game? You know, when you look at the strides that they made with a guy like an Isaiah Stewart now, who is a reliable 3-point shooter, it does make me more optimistic about Ron Holland as the pick now, because I like everything else about Ron Holland. Everything else. We continue. When we even talked about him in the prep during Woodward Pistons during the morning show yesterday and after the draft, everything else is there. Yeah. That's why I continue to tee up the questions like, is it just the 3-point shooting that we're concerned with? Because this is not necessarily an Asar Thompson type of a pick to me. This is a guy who's coming in that can handle the rock. This is a guy that can create his own offense. This is a guy that can get to the rim from the top of the key easily. This is a guy who, if you fall asleep, he's dunking on you. Like he can play make off of it. He has like this kind of natural feel and charisma. And then when he gets into kind of this ISO mode where he's kind of on one wing and putting his back to the basket and things, I'm seeing flashes of stuff that you can't teach.
Yes.
And so if all you have to really teach is the shooting mechanics, he has everything else, man. I can see why he was a former #1 overall prospect to be drafted into the NBA. So it's like I'm not going to scoff at Ron Holland. He has a lot of discernible skills. He has the size. He has the weight. We were talking about some of these other players like a Cody Williams. He would have to get his weight up at under 180 pounds. With a Ron Holland, you got a guy who's already 208 pounds and 6'8". So when you're talking about defense, when you're talking about guys coming to the NBA and worrying about injury issues with some of these other guys, some of these guys being able to get pushed off of their marks and such, Ron Holland already kind of has the framework that you cannot teach, a skill set that you cannot teach. And the thing that he's lacking right now is something that you can teach. And the Pistons have some of the best people in the entire world at being able to teach this one skill, and that's outside shooting.
Yes.
So
let's keep talking about. I want to get everyone's opinion. Get KG, JB, Justin involved. I got some more questions about Ron Holland and the fit. But cool, like, can you tell me about Premier Pet Supply?
Hey, listen, like you
Feed
said,
the dogs.
the Pistons brought in the best, Fred Vincent, to try and help this Pistons team get their best shot. But I can tell you where you can go to get your pets the best. That is Premier Pet Supply, and it's hands down Michigan's best pet store. They offer the same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. They offer over 60 brands of food, and they have nutrition experts to help you. Also, same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Visit them online at www.premierpetsupply.com.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisebuickgmc.com.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. It's 24/7 professional monitoring, so you can call us anytime, day or night, and know that the Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed, because it is technology that's backed by people. Your safety and security, it deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. All you got to do is call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that number is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
You gotta stop molding
That was me,
man.
What are you talking about?
Your freaky ass brother, man.
Freaky ass bro, he's 69 guy.
Hey, y'all sure it's not a Friday show yet? We've been giving people double Friday shows in these weeks, man. What a treat. I love
Every day is a Friday show,
Oh
man.
my
I
god.
love it, man. And you know what? Shout out to the diehard Piston fans and supporters and observers and just overall Detroit sports fans too. The hockey aficionados that show up in the chat. That's what this platform and Woodward Sports is supposed to represent. Covering all of our teams with the passion and enthusiasm, and we try to bring our expertise where we can, and that's what I specifically love. Especially love about the Woo Crew. We have some people who specifically know these sports. Man.
Yes. Speaking of, at 9 o'clock, Justin's big board. He's whipping out his big hockey board. His big hockey board at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. That big hock mock.
Because if you didn't know.
That Eddie Murphy cheese.
If you didn't know, NHL Draft is Friday and Saturday. To be talking about in the second hour. I think you guys might be talking about some UFC too. So hang around in the second hour. We're going to continue to talk about Pistons. We might sneak in a little bit of Tigers there. I want to touch on this press conference. I have a few questions to tee up for you. But Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
I meant to ask you before we went to break, the 3-point line in the G League. It's an NBA 3-point line, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was an 18-year-old shooting from the NBA 3-point line. Not to
straight out of
give
high
him
school
excuses, but you'd like to think as he gets stronger, shooting from deeper gets a little easier.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it what all the scouts and all the national media, isn't that the excuse that they give to Matas Buzelis, his teammate, who performed worse than him? You know, they're similar players, but when you look at what Ron Holland was able to do despite the lack of shooting versus Matas Buzelis, who did some good things, he was considered, for whatever reason, this higher draft pick, this higher prospect, because people believed his shot could get fixed. Mm-hmm. What leads people to believe that? They like his mechanics and his base overall form. But when you look at what Ron Holland was able to do also as an 18-year-old, when you talk about the opposite end of a Dalton Connect who's 23, and you talk about the ceiling and the potential, Ron Holland put so much good stuff on film, and he stuffed the stat sheets regularly. He's athletic. You know, he's not an athletic freak of nature, but he has like the sneaky athleticism that just takes his game to that extra amount of level. I like his handles. They're sneaky good. They need to get tighter, but I do like his handles and his ability to play in the pick and roll as well as in the mid game. He has the ability to just kind of he's shifty.
Yeah.
He can stop on a dime and change directions quickly. He can handle and he can finish very well with both hands. I like him.
I do. I had
potential.
Yeah, I had a note that I really like seeing a young kid who can finish, who's comfortable finishing with both hands, especially comfortable finishing both hands with contact. Like he's not afraid of contact. He attacks the rim. Is this too wild of a comp? A young coming out of San Diego State version of Kawhi Leonard.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that's what he is now.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard has become a superstar when he plays. You know, the 20 games a season that he plays. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about the defensive skills, shooting 75% from the free throw line. Like not broke mechanics, room to improve.
Yeah.
But just kind of that sneaky, athletic defender. I think Ron Holland was a better offensive player at his age now than Kawhi was even at San Diego State. But some of those similarities, or at least what he could be on the defensive end, a true wing stopper.
Yeah, kind of really this guy who can effectively play the 2 and the 3, the 4 in the pinch, especially as his strength gets up. Because we keep saying, well, just let Buzelis get his strength up. He's going from high school to the G League. Something happened in that year. They're not used to where that line is, but they both had some decent shooting mechanics and some numbers before that. So I'm going to apply this to Ron Holland too. Let him get his strength and development up. And he's actually a much better frame than a lot of the other players that we all thought could have been higher potential guys. He has the weight already. He has the height. He has the handles, like really good handles. He has the ability to get to the rim. He has the ability to play really, really good defense. Not just man-to-man, but the help side, the weak side, and in some pinches, being able to help defend the rim from the weak side position as well, or the help side position as well. So that's why it's like, you know what? Just kind of looking at it all from a standpoint of what he can bring to the table and kind of mixing that with what the organization is also saying about who Ron Holland is and what they expect out of him. This pick aligns and it fits with what Trajan Langdon said he wanted. And I can see how it can work. The comparison to Kawhi Leonard, you know what I mean? Obviously, we want them to reach it. We're not saying that they are those guys. But in terms of what it could be, what the striving could be, what the thought could be, I like it.
Sports on Air and chat, and I've heard it a couple times, but Sports on Chair said it this morning, Jimmy Butler ceiling or a Justice Winslow floor type guy.
It's kind of thinking of Jaylen Brown, but
that would be a phenomenal ceiling.
Yeah, well.
And he's a smart kid. He's mature. What's up, KG?
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that because I did see some of Trajan's presser last night, and Trajan said that they talked to him in Chicago, and he's a player that, like, he knows his role, he knows who he is, and he has a high motor. So all that is all well and good. And I got some comparables that Ryan himself said that he compares to. Mikal Bridges, Jaylen Brown, and Jaden McDaniels. He feel like he can be that type of player in the NBA. So where I do worry is the Fred Vincent factor, because while he is a great shot doctor and all that, Kool-Aid, you said, he can raise players' percentages maybe like to 6 or 7% more than what it is. With this player, that's still only scraping around 30%. If they decide to keep Asar Thompson, that's another player with a really bad 3-point field goal percentage. So I don't know. You're putting pressure on him right out the gate. Trajan did mention his name in the press conference. So he has a lot of confidence going forward that Fred Vincent can be that guy to fix these guys' jumpers. And, I also worry about the efficiency with Ryan, because although he does have a more all-around game, as evidenced by everybody I've heard and some of the highlights I've seen, it's just, I don't know, man. He's an 18-year-old kid still, and even if he's your starter, he's not going to have the same efficiency coming in. I just don't feel like he will. He won't be able to put up the same amount of shots, especially when different players on this team will need to have the ball in their hands more. So can he be a more efficient shooter? I think he was only 44% in his time in the G League. So I just worry about the efficiency as well. But can it work? Sure. Will it work? That's a whole nother question. And you might not even see the dividends of this for another 2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Even if all things work out.
And that's fair.
Let me piggyback real quick, and I'll let you answer.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point, and I couldn't help but think about Max Clark and the Tigers. So you could have gone and gotten, I'll use Dalton Connect or Donovan Clingan, an older, more established player who played a couple years in college. The Max Clark pick to me tells him the timeline for the Tigers is 2 to 3 years out. It's going with that draft class. That's what Scott Harris did. It was his first draft class. So that sort of tells you a little bit about their timeline. I'm starting to think that this too is the timeline Trajan Langdon's putting on himself and on this team. That this Ron Holland is going to be a part of the Pistons' future.
Yeah,
it's going to take him a couple years to really come into his own. And that's probably what they're building for. Take on contracts this summer or this offseason. They're going to see a lot of weird things happen over the next year. But I think in 2 years, 3 years is when it starts kind of coming together.
I love that comp, Broder, because it's Max Clark versus Wyatt Langford.
Yes.
It's literally the exact same thing where Clingan is supposed to be this NBA-ready big versus Ron Holland, who is 2 to 3 years away.
I don't know if he's necessarily 2 to 3 years away.
I'd like to hear that.
And that's what I wanted to be able to talk about. Like, his defense to me translates day one. Like,
that gets him floor time from day one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There might be parts of his game that are 2 to 3 years away, but if all that we're worried about is his 3-point shooting effectively, then I'm okay with that. He shot, it was 48% in the G League on 15.5 field goal attempts, almost 16 field goals. That's not easy to do as the focal point of that team, of the G League Ignite. You're playing with a lot of new players as well. Like, there were a lot of guys that were new to professional basketball that were playing on that G League Ignite. That's why Modest Buzelis is so young. That's why Ron Holland is still so young. But he was the man on that team, and he was the best player in a lot of the games that he matched up in the G League. And so it's like, I want to be able to take something away from that. Like, even though I know he has some deficiencies that we wish weren't there, I also, and we're going to say that those things are just going to automatically translate. I want to be able to take some of his efficiencies, though, and believe that some of those things, too, to be fair to him, can translate as well.
Yeah.
The NBA has seen young players come in and do well. The one thing we know is a Jaden Ivey, who I believe Ron Holland is probably a little bit more offensively skilled than. Jaden Ivey kind of got into this league and instantly was like, hey, 15-point score a game, 17-point score a game, just off of his skill set and low ability to shoot from behind the arc. So Ron Holland, somebody who's younger, 18 years old, didn't really shoot a high volume. If this was his shooting percentage, if this was his 3-point field goal percentage, he was shooting like 5 or 6 a game, I'd be a lot more concerned. But right now, as you asked about Fred Vincent, can you help them make maybe one more 3-pointer per game?
Yeah.
That's the goal right now.
Okay.
Can you help his shot get a little bit more consistent to the point? that he's shooting at least that 30% on the low, 35% on the low volume.
So the people defending him have to take a shot at least seriously, which will help his athleticism and his cut ability to be able to. With that gap closer, there's more that he can do versus them just playing off him and taking that cut away.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. And his mid-range game, it's not the most efficient thing. He likes to take that shot, but it's not the most efficient. But if you can turn him into a guy that really is more of a two-level scorer, from behind the arc is reliable, and obviously we know we can get to the rim and finish. You got a good player in your hands that I don't think is 2-3 years away.
Okay.
If you're talking about 2 to 3 years away from being able to reach his full-on potential or ceiling, I can definitely see that. But in terms of being able to be a contributor right now, this team is so void of talent, both ways, offensively and defensively, that I think he has a great shot to be a part of the rotation day one.
I didn't happen to see the Trajan Langdon press conference. I saw Ron Holland talk to the media. I don't think he was in Detroit. I think he was in, and you guys, the beat writers, might have talked to him separately. But what were some of the other takeaways from Trajan Langdon's press conference? I have a strategic question for you before 9 o'clock. Did they miss something? But KG.
No, I wonder if maybe Trajan had Ron Holland in his plans when he was with the Pelicans. Maybe he did his research and he kind of fell in love with him back then, because he did mention there were offers leading up to the draft and the day of, but he said the calls dried up essentially once the draft got started. So was there a deal there? Maybe, maybe not, but I just wonder about that. Was he already dead set on maybe adding a Ryan Holland to a Pelicans team that he was a part of, before he got here?
And I'm going to piggyback off KG again and maybe throw a wrench into this. And I got this quote from Madeline Kenny of the Detroit News. Shout out Rob Beard. She said, the Pistons fielded numerous calls with teams looking to trade up leading up to Wednesday, but when the time came, the phone didn't ring. Trajan Langdon said, so this might have been what you're talking about in the press conference.
Yeah.
Of course, I would have been elated if we could have been able to collect an asset, move back, and get a player of Ron's caliber, Langdon said. But I think we're very, very, very happy getting Ron at our pick this year. Do you have any concerns with them not having made a trade? I'm just going to read my notes word for word. How close is this to Scott Harris failing to trade Erod last year? Did they miss big not trading back, gaining some assets, and maybe still getting Ron Holland at 8, 9, 11, 13, another pick later in the first round?
Since we don't know exactly what was offered, it gets a little tough to be able to say if they missed out, because we see exactly what the value was with one of the few picks that happened, the only pick that happened in the lottery. And it was not a big return at all.
Yeah, on draft night, there weren't many trades, so it seemed to dry up for everybody.
Yep.
So
and in the top 5, you almost have to give yourself an opportunity to see who's going to be there. Because if Ron Holland is somebody that's pretty high on your draft board, and you know what's being talked about behind the scenes, on this level, there are scouts at every single game. There are scouts at every single event. You guys have seen them. You guys have been there and seen them. You're talking to these people all the time. You know what the league is going to do, regardless of what the media is saying. So if Ron Holland is high on your draft board, just like the Pistons, they had Jalen Duren at top 5 in their draft board, despite the fact that he fell to 13th, and who knows how far Jalen Duren falls. You draft him there, and all of a sudden, you're going to talk about a basketball player offensively and defensively who was way more raw and needed a lot more development. That's Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
And so when you're taking a Ron Holland who kind of already has the physical attributes, the athleticism, and has a little bit more polish to his offensive and defensive game, I'm all there for it. Because I think your point stands the strongest. It's that strength. When you're going from high school to the next level and you're taking some steps back for your three-point shot, you're going to see a dip in your efficiency overall. When you get that strength and that development and the type of worker that he is, that's going to be, in my opinion, what determines who Ron Holland is going to be. It's how this guy works, how he works. That's what I want to see. He has the tools. I think his shot mechanics are there. I think he can be helped. It's just a matter of if you can add one more made three-point shot per game for Ron Holland. And I think everybody out here has a completely different connotation or feel about this draft pick.
Yeah, and to your point, maybe we should be giving Trajan the same grace that we give Brad Holmes. Yeah. If that's his guy and that's who he feels is going to be able to come in here and help this team, then I guess we just got to go with it for now, man.
Yeah, and for me personally, it's like like to try and separate it. Being on the beat, a lot of times, Broder and us on this show, because we cover it more from a credential standpoint, our job, in addition to giving our opinion, is to make sure we can try and explain what the organization is doing as well. Right. And that's what I'm trying to do with the Ron Holland stuff. There are two sides to every coin. You guys saw our first natural reactions because we wanted shooting. Yeah. If we didn't go shooting, we wanted some discernible big man like a Klingon who we know is coming in and instantly doing a lot of what Nick Claxton is going to do, but he's not getting $25 million a year.
Not only that, we worry about the development. This organization hasn't shown an ability to develop players for a very, very long time. So I'm very skeptical, man, going in. I want to have faith. I'm trying to be, on the optimistic side of my fandom, but just based off history, it's hard to do that.
But if we do look at history, and this is why I'm glad I get another regime. This is my third regime covering the Detroit Pistons credential. The second one that I've seen instituted. I was there for Troy Weaver's press conference. I was there for Trajan Langdon's press conference. And honestly, everything looked like roses early on with Troy Weaver. Everything. It was easy to say trust in Troy. Yeah. So in reverse for Trajan Langdon, a basketball mind in a basketball room that we believe is a little bit more intelligent than the previous one, I have to just stop and think. I got to stop and wait and just see and say, you know what? Let's see what Trajan Langdon does have in mind. He brought Fred Vinson here for a purpose. It didn't save Monty Williams' job. Listen, this guy is just an asset. He's an asset, and he has been this all throughout the league.
It's Terrell Williams.
Yeah. Think about how much we do talk about the Lions' positional coaches.
Yes. Yeah.
So I applaud this by the Detroit Pistons. It gives you the ability to try and take a swing on a high potential guy. Yeah. If before the draft we were saying trade this pick to bring in somebody that we thought was better or could help us right away, you know what? Shame on us. We were saying it all along. It's a weak draft. And you know what the returns proved? That it's a weak draft. That's what it showed.
And wasn't much.
Trade was weak. It was low. Like the Pistons weren't going to get anything traded.
And let's be clear, Shad brought it up earlier in the chat. It's not like it was a super deep shooting draft either. Like there were only maybe not even a handful, 3, maybe 4 shooters. Maybe not even that. It might have been Reed Shepherd and Dalton Connect, who were the best 3-point shooters in the draft. It's not like it was that deep in 3-point shooting.
It wasn't. And so it's like, if Dalton Connect is not the guy that you believe can give you more skills, because Ron Holland is basically your Swiss Army knife right now. He has a lot of discernible skills he can give you, whereas with Dalton Connect, there are some improvements he has to make defensively. Though he can help you and be a team defender day one, he is not the ISO and the man and the help defender or the rim protector that Ron Holland is. We talk about the sneaky athleticism with Dalton Connect. Ron Holland has greater athleticism than Dalton Connect. So it's like playmaking ability, Ron Holland's a little bit better. Creation ability, Ron Holland is a little bit better. The shooting, Dalton Connect proved it over 6.5 threes per game.
He's the shooting and
that could have helped Cade right now.
He's that immediate shooting and spacing help that without even doing anything. He's on the roster. You know that this team has more shooting and more spacing on the floor for Cade. Yeah. We don't get that. And that's the big, to me, that was the gut reaction. Right. That was the Jahmyr Gibbs draft pick at 12. Like, Like, well, I kind of like that player, but why?
Right.
Yeah. That turned out to work out pretty well. I'm hoping this ages well over time. Flannel said it last night. We all said it last night. We hope this all makes us look dumb. Our first reactions of what the hell are they doing? I hope they make us look silly. Clay, I also like the point you brought up about you covering the beat and beat writers and reporters in general. Like, when you're covering the Pistons, and while you do cover it with a hint of optimism, as I cover the Lions, and that's just the way I am too, your job also is to try to make sense of what the organization is doing and share it with our audience while giving like that's the tricky part of this job that you and I do. We want our opinion too. We're hosting this show, and we got to be honest. We have to be honest about our opinions, but we also have to show the organizations that let us in there, that give us that backdoor look, that we're at least trying to share. All right, what are they thinking? What are the positives that could come out? We're not writing everything. We don't know what the next move is. Even in the second round, we don't know who they're going to pick. But this is just the beginning of Trajan Langdon's reign here in Detroit, and how you're positioning this and what the Pistons might do next, what this pick could mean both in this first year and 2, 3, 4 years down the line. I appreciate I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. It's been fun to be able to see this thing at Woodward Sports take off the ground. And Ryan, shout out to Ryan in the chat. He said, I've heard this before. It reminds me of Stanley Johnson. Ron Holland, to me, is a better prospect than Stanley Johnson. A much better prospect. One of the knocks on Stanley Johnson was that he could get to the rim, but he had some issues sometimes finishing.
Yeah.
Ron Holland does not have that issue. He gets to the rim, and that's one of his bread and butters there. His handles, that was something that Stanley Johnson did not really have. Ron Holland already has handles. Does he need to tighten them up? Yeah, he does. But think about what we're talking about here. When you think about like a Mikal Bridges type of player, a 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" guy who can, in pinches, play in the backcourt next to Cade Cunningham, if the Pistons find a way to get a stretch forward, do you understand the types of lineups they will be able to put out there on the court?
Who's out there? Maybe we'll talk more about it tomorrow. Stretch forward would be nice. Kevin Huerter would be nice. Another shooter would be nice.
Simone, Cade, Ron Holland, give me a stretch forward.
And if you have
anybody else, just throw anybody else.
Holland or Sarr, one of them coming off the bench. Like that's not a bad second line. Like you have what we hope to be a lockdown defender coming off the bench. Like we start thinking about what the bad boys Pistons were like. The 04 Pistons were like. That bench after Chauncey and Rip, it was Mike James and Lindsey Hunter. It was defense. It was a very deep team. I liked at least getting back to some of that juice of the old teams in the past. The NBA has changed, which is the question mark in my head. Like, there's got to be a good mix. Whoever this coach is, I love the people, the position coaches, the specialists that they've added. I do think this coaching hire is going to be huge. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I did want to speak to just Ron Holland, the person as well.
Yeah, let it fly.
In his press conference, he seems like a very genuine person. A very grateful person as well, an appreciative individual. And he said he's looking forward to being able to come to Detroit and getting this thing turned around. See, he understands that there was a stigma with all the losses here last year, but he said he actually believes he learned a lot more from his G League Ignite experience where they had a whole lot of losses than he would have if they went in there and had a whole lot of wins. He said he got to learn a lot about himself. He got to learn about what he has to do to work. Because you're talking about a young kid going from high school to professional basketball, not even college basketball, professional basketball. And so he said he got to learn a lot about himself, and just kind of hearing him speak at the table, it at the press conference, it continued. And then you hear Trajan Langdon's comments as well. You start to see exactly what they like about who Ron Holland is, and they're looking for leaders on and off the court, as well as Trajan Langdon said this, quote unquote, in the weight room as well. Ron Holland is a guy who is a student of basketball. He's a guy who also wanted to make sure people of Detroit knew this. He loves doing things in the community, and he cannot wait to get here to be a part of that too. Obviously, as Pistons fans, observers, supporters, and media, we want to see them winning. But in terms of everything that Ron Holland is saying right now, and he doesn't have to be this optimistic about the Detroit Pistons, he's ready to come here and go to work. And as it relates to us now being Detroit Pistons fans, observers, media, supporters, whatever you want to call yourself, Ron Holland is now a Detroit Piston.
Yep.
Period. You know, that's just what it is. And I wish and I hope him the best. I know our crew and our panel does as well.
Yep.
So again, congratulations to Ron Holland, the Detroit Pistons number 5 pick in the 2024 NBA draft.
Let's go.
Congrats, my man.
Yes, but before, since I have to take off here in a minute, Justin's going to hop up here on the desk.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Actually, I'll give you a reminder after. I want to remind the chat about something. But I didn't know if you guys are going to continue to talk basketball at all, talk about the NBA round 1 in general. But I had something on there on maybe the best or worst picks or winners of the drafts. When I woke up and saw how the Timberwolves finished their draft, their first round, getting Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon, a team that just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost to the Celtics. I thought that's as good of a two draft picks for that team as you could get.
I completely agree. They need perimeter scoring, and that's what they got. They got a whole lot of it.
Yeah,
a whole lot of it. And Rob Dillingham, he gets to learn from Mike Conley. They need a young point guard on that team, which is crazy to say since they would draft 3 point guards a year,
Right.
every year as I was growing up.
Yeah.
And then another shooting guard / wing to play with Anthony Edwards or come off the bench. Hearing Neil talk about Terrence Shannon at the end of last night, might have been after you left, KG.
Yeah,
He was preaching.
He was preaching, and he's a great player. The only issues were the off the court stuff, which he was completely innocent. Like that was the only concerns before he was proven innocent
And
of all that.
I was just saying, I see Curtis Murray in the chase. Say, can we talk about the second round? I am going to be doing a stream a little bit later, so definitely stay tapped in to Woodward Pistons. We'll be covering and recapping the second round. But sheesh, I should have mentioned this earlier in the show.
Sheesh!
Shout out to Soroki's in Madison Heights as well. They're having kind of this big event down at their 10 Mile and DeQuinder location today. Hey, we will have boots on the ground between 4 and 6, interacting with people.
Okay.
You guys can get a taste of some food and go home with some things that you like from Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza.
That's what's
I
up.
totally forgot all about that.
Love that. Last reminder, chat. Tomorrow is the return of Bar King. We're getting started. You can submit some bars of your own, some lyrics. Shoot them into my email, broder@woodwardsports.com. Can't promise we'll read everyone. There's already been a few people who sent some lyrics in. Keep them, if you can, between 4 and 12 lines. Get creative, have some fun. Put your name in there, whether it's your chat name or whatever name you want to be shown live on the screen or whatnot. Put as much detail as you can in there, but shoot me an email, broder@woodwardsports.com. We're doing that tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Let's go.
I appreciate you guys. I do have to take off. Justin's hopping up here to finish the show with the crew.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid, could you first tell them about Lady Jane's?
Hey, you know what, brother? You are awesome. Have a great day, brother. I can tell you guys about something else that's awesome as well. It's when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut, and that's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Just stop in, sit back and relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented hairstylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. That's Lady Jane's, and it is wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
We love Broder. We love Broder. You know what? We also love Dr. Jeff Pierce. Be safe, brother. Have a good day, man. But attention, sports fans. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursday, that is today, during Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And what up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward.
Do not adjust your TV sets.
Hey, we got that dude Justin up on the desk. Look at him there.
Let's go.
At him there.
Boy,
Decked out in the red and the white, man. Shout out to that dude Justin. Shout out to Matthew Broder. Be safe, bro. Hey, it's a great start to the morning. Going ahead, you guys, satisfy that like button for that dude Justin, as well as Matthew Broder and the rest of the Hoop crew. Shout out to Flannel Sam. All right, brother. See you later, Matthew. But he's using my government right now.
Government names, all right.
Shout out to Flannel Sam, who will be on Big D Energy today. He and Neil rule. That's going to be a spicy one. Our elite, our illustrious, our wonderful booth. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick. That is KG in the sound booth. What up, though, Black Hollywood?
Hey, y'all know what it is. Wake up out of your sleep. Wake up. Hey, Justin on the desk, bro. Shout out to little bro, man. The boy done growed up on us, man.
Look at just one summer, man. Look at that. Shout out to Woodward Sports' MVP. In the T. You know what, man? It's a Friday, Thursday. In the booth, it is. JBSMOOOOOV.
Oh, man. What's up, fellas? So proud of you, Justin, man. You done grown up before our eyes. You're on the desk. My man doing big things out here.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and shout out to you guys. I wouldn't have this opportunity if I didn't have an amazing crew to back me up and have my back no matter what, and that's you guys. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to Brother.
Proud of you.
And shout out to Flannel.
Hey, the chat family's proud of you. Chase Family says, shout out Justin, finally wearing the right team's sweater. Awesome.
Right? About time.
About time. But look, man, let's jump back into the Detroit Pistons, the NBA draft. We do have you're going to be profiling some Red Wings stuff, right?
Yes.
Outlook,
I have
draft, free agency type stuff?
Yes, I have a Red Wings big board. I didn't do a full big board like you did. I did more of a Red Wings big board because they're picking at 15, and there probably is not going to be the top 5 prospects on the board, so I tried to exclude them from my list. But other than that, there's a lot of fluctuation when it comes to the NHL draft where there's no rankings that are truly accurate.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited, but I'd also been loving your Pistons talk today. You've been killing it, so shout out to you.
I appreciate you. You know what? I want to be able to hear from the people more. Thank you guys for engaging in this chat. Like I said, go ahead and hit that like button, but the phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. Again, the phone number is 313-552-6322. Go ahead and call in. Tell us what you think about the Detroit Pistons draft pick. If you agree with things we're saying, if you disagree with things, if you want to argue, if you want to kumbaya, definitely call in. We look forward to having you guys as kind of comments being things that we can discuss on this show. So, you said we already got a caller?
Oh, yeah, we do. Eric from Detroit. Eric from Detroit, you on Wake Up Woodward, bro. What's up?
Hey, what up, though, Eric? Thank you for calling in.
What up, Eric?
Oh, my bad. Eric, you there?
What up, though?
Yep, that's on me.
Hey, what up, though, Eric? Thank you for calling in, brother.
Hey, what's going on, fam? Man, it's been a while, man. I'll be watching here and listening to the show every morning. I'll be at work. I work at 4, so it's a lot of noise. I don't get to call in like I used to. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys and everything y'all been doing. So, on this Ron Hollins thing, I was kind of upset about the pick myself. But then as I sat back, slept on it, I'm like, I think Trajan is getting a lot of heat from what happened with Troy Reaver in the past regimes. And I'm like, I'm going to give this guy some grace. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only fair to let him come in and shape and mold this team the way he wants to.
That's right.
So I do believe he's going to put shooting around. But remember, in his press conference, the key thing he said that I was develop these young players. He kept saying that we got to develop, and everybody kept asking about the playoffs. He said, we can't talk playoffs. We got to learn how to win. We got to learn how to be a team. We got to develop these young players. So development is his key. So I know everybody was all like, oh, man, we need shooters. But he did get a 6'8" guy who can defend, who can create his own shot, who can finish at the rim, who got some athletic tendencies. So it's like, okay, somebody's out, though, because it's a log jam at 4 and guard. So it looks like Ivy and Stu might be the 2 men out. But Kool-Aid, I want to know, who do you think they might aim for in this second round, or do you think he might package this second round pick with a Stewart and the Ivy and go get somebody else?
Hey, that's interesting there, man. When you listen to some of the rumors, especially with the fact that they were already kind of gauging the trade value of an Isaiah Stewart, I actually do lean a little bit more towards kind of what you're saying there with packaging this pick with a person like an Isaiah Stewart to try and free up a little bit of this logjam, because even more so than the guards, I think Ivy is a little bit more safe than really what's going on with the 3s and the 4s. When you look at the 3s and the 4s, and you think about the fact that the Pistons need to get better defensively in the paint, but they also have to get better from behind the arc and shooting the ball and offensive efficiency from the 4, there's such a logjam for what they have to do in the future, let alone what's going on right now, bringing in another one of these kind of 6'8", kind of 3-4 tweener type guys. You got Asar, you got Simone Fontecchio, you got Isaiah Stewart. So something is going to happen, or else one of these guys are not going to play. And I don't think you can afford that with Asar being top 5 pick, Isaiah Stewart being one of your better players on the roster right now, Simone Fontecchio being probably the best player of this bunch of wings that we're talking about, and Ron Holland, who you just picked with another number 5 draft pick. Something has to resolve itself. It feels as if Isaiah Stewart would be the odd man out, but
how can he be the man voted off the island, though? He's the second best shooter of that collective. Yeah. And we suck at shooting. Like, that makes no sense. And I'm a hater, honestly, of Isaiah Stewart. I do not like Isaiah Stewart's game at all. But to a point that we need shooters, how can we trade him? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Shooter, though.
He's not a shooter, but he can shoot at a relative clip for an NBA average.
Decently.
He improved decently, but in the areas that what we need from our 4 is not just the shooting. When you're talking about if he was a 3,
right,
then yes, definitely. But from the 4 position, the one thing you said, all the things that you dislike about his game, for the last 2.5 years, I've been stating Isaiah Stewart needs to be off the bench at best. So if you like what he brings to the table, he needs to be off the bench, because he's too small, he's undersized, defenders able to score right over him. They're not stopping anybody at the rim. And those things have hurt the Pistons a lot more than what Isaiah Stewart's shooting has helped this Detroit Pistons team with. So it's like, from that standpoint, if you have to do something about this logjam. You do. And who are you moving forward with in the future? Asar Thompson or Isaiah Stewart? You know, who are you moving forward with in the future? Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart. You know, who you move forward? Simone Fontecchio, Isaiah Stewart.
Isaiah Stewart's the 4th on the list.
I like him, but that's what I'm saying. So if you had to move off of somebody, I can see why it would be an Isaiah Stewart. I'm not even advocating for him to be traded, but the Pistons got to do something. Right. And one thing we know is, with all of the amount of draft picks they've picked over the last 3 to 4 years, which has been a lot, they've picked like 8 or 9 first-round draft picks in the last 4 years. You got to do something with this talent. Mm-hmm. If they're not going to pan out on your squad, you got to kind of trade some people and move this thing forward.
100%.
Eric, was that all for your call, brother?
Hey,
we appreciate you, man, for calling in, man.
And I want to say about Asar Thompson. I think if we can get Asar Thompson to develop a shot, because Kool-Aid, you know this, he got a nice form. Yeah. He got a nice form. If we can just get him to develop a shot in a mid-range game, I think that dude can be all NBA player, honestly, with his defense, with his IQ at such a young age. But y'all, I just want to say, Wake Up Woodward crew, y'all killing it. Y'all the best sports talk show in Detroit, period. We love what y'all doing. Keep doing it, man. And hey, y'all a family, man. And I want to say I love each and every one of y'all, everybody in the chat. Stay safe. Be blessed. Have a good day, y'all. Let's get it.
Hey, much love.
Shout out to you, Eric.
Yeah, much love, bro.
Let's rock, man. Hey, that's what it's all about, man. And he's right. Being in the practices and looking at Asar Thompson and, you know, at Detroit Kool-Aid, at Woodward Sports, we probably post these clips at Woodward Pistons as well. Asar Thompson has a shot. And his form changed from the beginning of the season to what it was towards the end of the season. And so it's like, yeah, man, if these guys can take the step forward with a Fred Vincent, the Detroit Pistons are going to have themselves in a really, really, really good situation here. But you said we have another call, KG?
Yeah, we do. The homie. Oh, no. You want to take it out?
Throw the number out one more time. 313-552-6322. Who we got, brother?
Yeah, it's the homie Terrell from FL. So he's calling. He wants to speak about Ryan Holland. What's up, Terrell?
Hey, I'm intrigued. Hey, listen.
Yo.
You never disappoint. I am intrigued, honestly intrigued with your take. And it's going to, you know what? I'm going to let your opinion weigh heavily on mine.
Oh, thank you, Kool-Aid. I appreciate you, my boy. And good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Morning. Top of the morning.
Before I make my Ron Holland point, I just wanted to point out also that I feel the exact same way that all of you guys do. Like, the product was so bad that it's, like, basically unwatchable, and of course I want them to be very competitive next year, but the reality is it's just not going to be. I mean, Trajan has so much work to do to rebuild the team, so it is going to be a 2 to 3 year thing minimum before we even start talking about playing games and stuff like that. I know it sucks, but that's just the way it is. But that'll give Ron enough time to start developing that shot, you know what I mean, and get his feet wet and all that stuff, and, you know, hopefully build some chemistry with Cade. The only thing that I wanted to say about Ron was that I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about him. I'd heard his name before, but I really didn't know anything about him. And so, of course, I had to go, you know, pull up the highlights and watch some of his games and stuff like that. Yeah. And he did remind me of somebody. And before I tell you who it is, I want everybody out there to know I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that he is going to be this guy. I'm just telling you what it reminded me of. So I don't know if any of y'all are old enough to remember what Kobe looked like in high school, but their bodies and their games are very, very similar. Like, Kobe had that same explosive first step, that same hop where he would just yak over people real quick, and he couldn't really shoot that good, you know, when he first came into the league.
You trying to give me brick?
And he looked, I was like, I was like, damn, he kind of looks like Kobe, to be honest. I was like, it was an old reference and shit, and I'm not saying he's going to be Kobe, but I was like, you know, he's got the skills. If he can get his shot into the 30s, you know, at least in the mid-30s, you know, he should be a good, solid, you know, scorer for this team, and hopefully somebody that, you know, can build his game around Cade and we can do something with. I know there's a log jam at the forwards now, but hopefully, you know, Trajan will figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We just got to have some faith in the guy. Trajan's smart, so hopefully he'll do the right thing.
Yeah, and you know what, man? Terrell, you said what I was literally describing earlier, but I didn't know if it was appropriate to necessarily or to invoke the Kobe name. But when I was saying earlier, his but it was when I was talking about his ISO game, his footwork, his back to the basket stuff, you can tell like the influence in his game. And I think that's one thing you can definitely say. There is some shades of him sitting down and studying the game of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, when he takes those first steps on people around the three-point line and is taking off from around the free throw line and shit, just yamming on people, I was like, damn, okay, Kobe Jr., relax.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's going to be Kobe. If he can be half a Kobe, I'll be happy. Yeah. But that's all I had. Have a good morning, fellas.
Hey, you know what? Thank you,
Appreciate
for
it.
supporting, always calling in and dropping the fire, man, bringing your opinion. And it is. I think a lot of people, as they kind of take the time with the Ron Holland pick, if they weren't for it before, I think it's really because we look at this thing on the surface and we instantly see the three-point shooting percentage. But when you look at the film, when you look at him as a basketball player, like you look at like actual basketball plays, not even just highlights. Like, look how plays develop. Even on some plays where shots are missed by the teammates or shots are missed by him, and on the defensive side of the ball as well, I like him as a basketball player. Just as a basketball, I'm like, I really like him. Yeah. And he has that ability, on his high potential, to be one of those ISO demons. That's what you see out of like a Mikal Bridges. When he says that that's kind of, and Jaden McDaniels, when he says that these are the types of guys that he's patterning his game after, or that he thinks he can have the type of effect, it's the type of potential
somebody
that
can get a bucket.
On.
And it matters that he played in a man's league. He played in the G League. He didn't play in the NCAA. He didn't play, well, the Euro is similar, but played in a man's league, and that has to mean something. It probably means he can make a higher impact quicker than a lot of guys who are coming out of college. And everything you're telling me, I'm excited as hell. I mean, we need another ISO ball scorer, and hopefully he can find a fit next to Cade, because that's where we are now. If he doesn't fit next to Cade, Cade will probably be traded.
You know what? Ellis Durrell said, I told you guys, DeMar DeRozan. And I'm saying, like, this guy got some shades, man. He got some shades. And I see Weezy in here. He's mad. He said it could have been Jason Richardson, Iguodala, Jaylen Brown. Nope. MFers reach straight to Kobe. One of the things that I've seen from even scouts and such, and if you listen to him himself, like he'll talk about the different shades of players that he watched.
Yeah.
You can see the shades in his game, but where I depart with Terrell from FL, and I'm glad that he prefaced it himself. He said he's not saying he's going to beat this guy, but he can see the shades of it.
Right.
You're going to see that in the NBA.
But the development has to be there. I can't, I got to pound the table for that, man. Like the development has to be there if you're taking this kind of risk, because this team needs 3-point shooting in such a bad way. And I also feel like if you're going to go forward with Cade Cunningham from the organization, there needs to be some sense of urgency to turn this thing around quicker, man, because if you sign Cade, that's all well and good, but in another 2 to 3 years, you think he's going to take another 2 to 3 years of 14 wins, 24 wins? Like,
definitely not.
It's not going to hold up, man. So that's why I'm adamant about getting the offense together and getting this spacing together, because on most nights, you can outscore teams. You can have the best defense in the NBA, but it's not going to matter on a Tuesday night or a second night of a back-to-back when a hot team comes in. You're going to get torched anyway. I would much rather you be a team that can outscore a lot of teams, because that's just what the NBA is. I'm not saying don't have defense at all, but it's something that you can work on along the way. So I just really hope that they can get some established shooters on this team that can really help the floor spacing, because a player like this, fine, but you essentially, as of right now, added another Asar Thompson.
100%. And the last thing you want to do to Cade is to turn him into a Javi Baez, where he just does not give a shit. He doesn't care about the city. He'll do anything to get out.
But that's not good.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I get that.
I do push back on the Asar Thompson thing. Ron Holland has a certain instinct on offense that Asar Thompson has on defense. As we believe that Asar Thompson is this guy that can step up and guard the number ones, Ron Holland has the ability to be a number. Every level of basketball, he's been the number one. Modest Bazelis was a guy who had to submit or subject himself to the leadership of a guy like Ron Holland.
Mm-hmm.
Like Asar Thompson was a guy who allowed his brother to be the lead guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference in terms of their mentality and their mindset of being a baller. And Ron Holland, to me, he walks like it. He plays ball like it. The only thing we're sitting here parsing over is his shooting on low volumes. That's it. I don't hear anybody that's saying that this guy can't dribble. Do you think he can dribble better than Asar? I do.
Yeah.
Can he get to the rim better than Asar? I do. Can he finish better than Asar? I do. Can he create his own shot better than a lot of the guys on our squad?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. When I look at him as just a basketball player, there are things he could do right now. He's a great cutter. He's a great finisher. He's a great slasher. Like, those things are highly needed. Highly needed on the team. And then when you talk about his steals, 2.1 steals per game and 1.1 blocks per game, that's better than Duran's stocks.
Yeah.
And so it's like, as a basketball player, I don't really want to scoff at him. I want to, obviously all of us are going to have to do this.
True, but
give him his time and his chance.
It's G League competition versus NBA level competition. And you're not wrong. I was more so just speaking to the type of prototype, that he is, because they are similar in prototype. But you do hope that Fred Vincent can come in and work wonders, because if he can get to a mid-30s 3-point shooter, you are looking at a very, very good player that can go get his own shot, and he's all around. He can defend, he can do it all. So, and that's what this team needs, especially at the wing position. I just hope they can do it. That's all.
And I agree with that. Trust me, like before the draft, we all were saying shooting. It's why I valued a player like a Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
Now they sit here with the Ron Holland. I just want to make sure that we're at least being fair to the level of player and that he's been up to this point as well.
Right.
We're comparing all of these guys. Some of these guys are from overseas.
Yeah.
Never even touched the level of competition that he has. Because you're talking about, out of all these prospects, the highest level of competition you can play in before you get to the NBA, it is the G League.
Yeah.
And you're playing against NBA players. You're playing against guys who've been there for years. You're playing against guys who might played against Stanley Johnson. He did pretty well against Stanley Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, he played pretty well against a lot of these top draft picks and draft picks from years prior, and he actually got the chance to play with Cade Cunningham on some run teams as well.
Yeah.
So they already kind of know each other. They've been kind of in the same cycle, in the same circuits.
Yeah.
They come from Texas together as well. So it's like, I'm not trying to gas up the pick. I'm not saying this was the correct pick to make, because you know how I lean. I lean more towards you.
I got you.
But in terms of like who he is as a player, I think that there's a lot to like, man.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much does the shooting matter to the impact he can have? Because we saw with Asar Thompson, we got to be fair to that.
Yeah.
His lack of shooting hurt his ability to be on the court. Killian Hayes, a guy who has some of the better assist to turnover numbers in the league, good defensive rating.
Yeah, he was solid
These are not
defensively.
lies. These are on the stats. But he couldn't score worth a lick, and he couldn't shoot worth a lick, and it hurt his ability to be on the floor.
Yep.
There was an era in basketball where if you couldn't defend, it didn't matter what you could do offensively, unless you were an absolute gunner.
Yep.
You really, that was going to cut into your time, and the NBA has changed now. If you cannot provide that offense, this is going to hurt your game, and this is where somebody who's been billed as a gym rat, Ron Holland is being billed as one of those guys who is a workout warrior and is in the gym a lot and cares about the development of his game. This is where it's on him.
Right.
Andre Drummond came in with skills and had the talent, but as it related to being that guy who could go into the gym during the offseason, going to the gym when nobody else is looking, going to the gym where there's no cameras going so people can see you do, dribble, step back, three-point. I'm talking about where you're actually making improvement on your game. That's what this is on right now. It's not even on the belief of Trajan Langdon.
Right.
It's not on the hope of fans. It's not on what you did before. For Ron Holland, it's about what you're going to do from this point forward to make sure you improve every aspect of your game and bring that shooting up a whole lot, so that you can be an effective player next to Cade Cunningham and take the fullest advantage out of all your skills. Like, I think you're right, man. Like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I wanted to see this team have more of a 2 to 3 year window, but it's looking like it might be more of a longer term type thing.
So like I said I had to accept it.
Are we thinking like a 4 to 6 year window here, or
people were mad at Weaver who got to year 4? Iserman right now is on year 6, and I think it is a good segue for us to kind of get there, to get into what you have prepared for us today, and maybe we save some of these this Pistons conversation for tomorrow and next week as well.
Big
because
facts. Yeah, it's a big talking
it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Like,
they took
you're
us
right.
by surprise, man.
You're right. I mean, JB is right. You're right. There's a lot of great points around.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit up here and act like any of us know exactly what the deal is completely.
You know what I feel like? I feel like you seen Friday, right?
Yeah.
And you know the part where Smokey is at Craig's house. He's trying to make a sandwich, and he like, how come you never got two things that match?
Yeah.
And that's just how it feels with the Pistons. We always got these one-dimensional talents, man, and it's just it can be a tad frustrating. That's all, man.
Peanut butter, no jelly.
Really does have Ryan bricked up though, so that's hype.
I see that. You know what? It's we're gonna have to see. Like, listen, I am gonna be down at Vegas Summer League, so we'll be off the show for a couple days. But I'm gonna try and be down there for the early games. See, like his first 1 or 2 games.
All right.
Obviously, there's only so much you can take away from there, but you can see what he's been working on during that time. If he goes down to the Summer League, it's going to be a small sample size, maybe 3 to 5 games, and he shoots at least 30%, 35% from behind the arc. It's going to be something that I think encourages a lot of people, but still my plea to him is continue to be that guy that goes out there and works to get better all the time.
Right.
Because if you're going to say anything about Kobe, the number one thing you should want to be compared to is the work ethic.
100%.
Period. Everything else will take care of itself. Be compared to that guy, R.I.P. Kobe, as it relates to how he worked. It didn't matter if he was great. He wanted to be more great. That's what we need here. That's what we need in Detroit. That's what it used to be like here in Detroit, man. So, you know what? Let's get into this break. I want to be able to give that dude Justin his time. He prepared a lot for this next segment. You guys remember early on in the show, especially on the shows where we didn't have flannel on Mondays and Fridays, we were sitting here stating we want to be able to bring some knowledgeable, reputable, experienced hockey knowledge to you all. So I'm glad now that we got you a part of the Woo crew, along with Flannel Sam as well. And shout out to Spinny, who are kind of our hockey aficionados. Obviously D-Mac, but that's D-Mac.
Yeah. Right.
So
Come on now.
What bills do we got to pay right now?
We got Swiss and Les Stanford.
All right. I got Swiss.
I got Les Stanford.
Let's go. Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance to make sure your current carrier is not slipping in any extra fees.
No Diddy.
There you go. Or raising those deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today. The number is 313-530-1698. Again, word to my brother Flannel, that number is 313-530-1698. Or visit them online, SwissINS.com, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
To expand and offer more products to more people, this is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford's Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford and Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that, hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseBuickGMC.com.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Detroit sign shirt.
Enough with this Detroit sign shirt.
We gotta get Ron Holland one of those.
We do need to get Ron Holland one of those, at least one of those up there. But do yourself a favor. Go to WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week. Kool-Aid already said we got the Welcome to Detroit shirt, which he has a couple of them in his closet. I still don't know why. But you need to go out and get yourself one of those hashtag Boo Them Kids shirts that we got up right now as well, too. But you can't forget about the Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes election t-shirts and hoodies.
They got my vote.
I would vote for them. Just saying. But do yourself a favor. Head over to WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab. Training camp is only a couple days away. But Kool-Aid, why don't you tell them about what else we got cooking on the network today?
Hey, you guys already know. Wake Up Woodward every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. is where you guys got to kick off your day. And we appreciate you guys for all of the support that you give to us. Go ahead and hit that like button to support us. But not just us. Make sure you're staying plugged in with all of Woodward Sports. Starting with Big D Energy, 11 to 1. That is 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty alongside the golden voice Neil Rule. After that, you got Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 to 4. The lovable radio legend Tom Masway with University of Michigan legend. I just said it with a little bit more gusto. Go blue, because they're crushing right now in the recruiting rankings. We're going to have to get into that.
Don't hate, JB.
But shout out to informative full wide receiver Braylon Edwards alongside Detroit Media King Fox 2 Ryan Ermanni. After that, you got the big fellas. Shout out to the Woodward Heavyweights from 5 to 7. You got Spimo Rex. You got Speak Easy in their elite booth as well. Dang. Nick Koloff, the tailgate always wins.
Yes, sir.
And my guy Chris Platty, great job on the desk last night, Chris. And shout out to Easy for sticking around as well with the draft show. They're bringing you the biggest interviews, the biggest breakdowns, the biggest laughs. Shout out to the Woodward Heavyweights.
Media Times tonight.
Hey,
yeah.
Media Times tonight. Stay plugged in. I'm telling you guys, Woodward Heavyweights. They did it again, man. They always do this. Keep crushing, you guys, to the whole network from Wake Up Woodward Crew. But to you guys out there in the chat family world, thank you for supporting us and making Woodward Sports your #1 digital sports network. Let's rock. Let's Wake Up Woodward, man. What up, though, people? And I am ecstatic for this segment, but I'm sorry, we got to preempt you. We got to preempt your segment. And for two things. One, I need y'all to go ahead and smash that like button for Wake Up Woodward, Woodward Sports, and that dude, Justin. Smash it for Broder.
Hey.
Come on, guys.
Slide that finger in that like button.
Wow.
Yes,
whoa. Hey, he just turned up the heat.
Right.
On the Satisfy Like Button song.
Don't forget that foreplay, baby.
Yeah.
Don't just rush in with the fingers.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's a young bull move.
Let's get to this call real quick, KG. I'm intrigued right now.
Yeah, so we got a new caller, first time caller. He wanted to go by the name of Korean Joseph.
Oh my God.
You know something about that, Jews? It's Korean Joseph. You on Wake Up Woodward, bro. What's up?
Oh my goodness.
What up, though?
What up, though?
Just call me Korean Joseph because I am the sire of Korean Jesus.
Hey.
Shout out my dad. Hey, Dad.
Couldn't be prouder of my son being on the desk for the first time. Congratulations.
Hey.
Thanks, Dad.
But I gotta bust his balls, boys.
Go right ahead.
Roster construction is a big thing, and I think the reason the Lions have had so much success over the last couple of years is because you have the feeling that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have a plan, that the pieces fit together, that they complement one another. And I think that's kind of where the Tigers and the Pistons are really lacking right now. And look, I am old school NBA. The Pistons won the NBA title when I was a senior at U of M. And I love the idea of somebody that can get off his own shot, of somebody who can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim and finish. I mean, that's how, NBA basketball used to be played. But now, a shooting game, you can't play in the league unless you can shoot. And his kid sounds uber athletic and a fantastic athlete who can do all those things, but he is now your fourth thing. And the one thing they all have in common is they can't freaking shoot. You can't have Cade Cunningham, who is a average, mediocre three-point shooter at best, along with Jaden Ivey, along with Duren, guys, they need shooters.
Yeah.
And you can't keep putting a roster together of the same player who does the same things without a plan to these guys. A player like this needs three other guys on the floor that can shoot. And right now, oh, by the way, we got none.
100%.
Hey, you're preaching, man.
Yeah, he's only saying that because I said that I didn't necessarily love the pick, but I'm intrigued by it because he's uber athletic and can't teach athleticism. But I think that, he's 100% right. We need shooters, and we need elite shooters to match around Cade, and I think that's what we all agree on. Yeah. And that's what we need to focus on in free agency because we obviously are not doing it in the draft, and that's honestly a big issue.
Yeah, I'm okay that they didn't do it in the draft, but it just depends on what they do during free agency. If they go out there and they cash in on a Tobias Harris and a Tim Hardaway Jr., then you got three really good shooters in Simone Fontecchio, Tobias Harris, and Tim Hardaway. If they go out there and make some marginal moves, it's going to be for people that probably are more two-way oriented. And so I am intrigued to see what they do in free agency because, yes, the elephant in the room and the biggest need on this team, even beyond defense for me, is putting shooters around Cade Cunningham, followed by defense as a close, maybe 1B, not even a 2. Those are, to me, the top two priorities. Improving your overall defense because their defensive efficiency was trash. It's been utter trash.
Yeah.
You got to improve that, and then the shooting. It's a problem. You got to fix it.
Are we the only team in NBA history that has a bunch of uber athletic wings that can't play defense? I mean, if you can't shoot and you're athletic, you're supposed to play defense.
Right.
So I'm proud of you. Congratulations. I know you know your hockey, so go kill that segment and get a damn haircut, would you?
Let's get to it.
Yep.
Thank you
Appreciate
for calling, Pops. And we appreciate it. Good call,
Appreciate
man.
you, Pops.
And
Thanks,
you know
Dad.
what? I want to see what Trajan does from this point. I think that's the most important thing is just to see how he starts to craft this thing as the puzzle pieces come together. I don't want to overreact or underreact necessarily to just one pick as things start to settle. Obviously, the initial reaction, it's going to be pure emotion.
Yeah.
Once we get a chance to just kind of settle in on it, it's like, you know what? Let's see what Trajan Langdon is going to do.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Tobias Harris is on this team, I'm going to be a little upset.
It's looking more and more
I'm
like
going to be upset.
Get ready to be upset.
That's what the tea leaves are saying that a lot of people are going to be. What's good, KG?
No, I just wanted to get this comment off. Wheezy D313, shout out to you, bro. Korean Joseph worked on that "What Up Though" in the mirror more than Spinny. Hey, yo, Pop's execution on that "What Up Though."
That "What Up Though"
it was clean.
I didn't even think
bro.
It was him.
Yeah,
that "What Up
so
Though" was so
perfect.
clean. I didn't even think it was him. I was like, wait, what?
And he said it almost like a spelling bee, like he waited for the approval.
Yeah.
Like, "What up, though?" Yeah.
That was clean. Shout out Pops, man.
Shout out to Pops, man. And it's dope to see that you have that type of support at home as well as, your brothers here at the Woo Crew.
100%.
We got your back. So tell us about this top 10 draft board you have, I know we're going to get into this over 2 days.
Yep.
But talk to us.
All right. So first of all, I'd like to preface this by it is not a full NHL big board. It is a Wings big board. So I kept off the pretty much consensus top 5 because there's a lot of fluctuation in an NHL draft. So JB, if you want to throw that up there, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I'd like to say just one name that I left off the list because it's so hard to know guys from Finland, but his name is Konsta Helenius, and he is a forward, very good two-way, and he also played in the Finnish league, so he has experience playing against men, not boys and juniors. But we're just going to tap into it. So at number 10, we have Michael Hagee, who is a two-way center with great hands, puck control, and elite vision. He is a very good skater, and he is a sneaky good shot. He had 75 points in 54 games in the USHL last year. I'd compare him to a Marcus Kasper with a little bit more offensive game. I think that is something the Wings desperately need is a center, and more centers in the building. So that would be my number 10. My number 9 is a little bit of an NHL legacy pick. We have Tija Ginla, who is the son of Jaroma Ginla, who is an NHL legend, Hall of Famer, and the pedigree is there. And that's such an important thing when it comes to players. When you come from a bloodline like that of an NHL legend, and then yourself, you put up 84 points in 64 games in the WHL, and you're a very good scorer and a very good playmaker. With his only downside is questions on his defensive game. I would absolutely love if we went and got a Ginla. Number 8, we got Andrew Basha, who is a big energy guy. He is a very good playmaker as well, and also has no lackluster defensive skill as well. He had 85 points in 63 games, and he's a fast-moving, dynamic wing who has playmaking and scoring ability. And if he doesn't end up turning out to be a top 6 forward like he could be, he will at least be a bottom 6 forward because he is able to play physical and play a role on any team. So that's another pick that I'd love for the Wings to make. And then we got 2 more here. Number 7, Trevor Connolly, USNDDP. Anyone who comes from USNDDP, which is the National Development Prep Team in Plymouth, I am high on because they have such an amazing program out there. Ever since they started it, they have only produced high-level NHL talent consistently. So many players have come from there. We have the Jack Hugheses, the Austin Matthews. There's a plethora of players that have come out of USNDDP. So Trevor Connolly is probably one of the next ones who come out of there. He had 78 points in 52 games. That's playing its junior competition and college competition. So that's really important. And he's a burner. He can fly.
Okay.
He can fly around the ice. You give him the puck in space, he's going to make stuff happen. He's got a plethora of skills. He's effective. And he's an attention to details type of guy. And that's what you really want when you're drafting for the NHL. And then number 6, the last one I'll get to today, is Leon Greentree. He is a tactician. He is a smart hockey player with high hockey IQ. He's a playmaker, and he's also a power forward. And that we saw with the Panthers this year how important a good power forward can be, who still has an offensive game. He had 90 points in 64 games as a power forward. That would be so nice to add to these rosters. And a lot of these guys, I really feel like they have bigger builds, and they don't have as much muscle that a Lucas Raymond had to put on per se. So they have a shorter track to the NHL, in my opinion. So those are my bottom 5 guys. I'd love any of them because we're also picking at 15. So the chances that one of these fall is big, but multiple probably not. So anyone at this range, I would give us a B+ or higher if we draft any of these guys, or the kid from Finland who I named in the beginning of the segment. KG, you have a question?
Yeah, so I know it's going to take them some time to get to the big club, but who would you say out of those 5 is the most NHL ready?
The most NHL ready? Probably Liam Greentree. He has the size to, like, power forwards are probably the quickest players who can take that jump because those smaller players who rely on speed, like Trevor Connolly, for example, like he's going to have to do what Lucas Raymond did. He's going to have to put on 15 pounds before he's NHL ready. And Liam Greentree is massive. I don't have his exact size comparison in front of me, but he is a absolute load. He plays like he's a big dude, and that's what the Wings need. The Wings lack size. They really need to You got any of the two-way players left? Dante 151. I would say that Liam Greentree is a two-way player. I would say that Andrew Basha is a two-way player, and I'd say Michael Hagee is a two-way player. The other two are more offensive dominant skill sets, but those three guys I would say are two-way forwards.
Yeah, I also see an interesting comment from Jeff Olson. I'm big out on Conley. Off ice issues, no chance. What happened with
what happened off ice?
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Enlighten us.
I will enlighten you. Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta go to my other notes. I have that in my other notes.
Oh, Liam Greentree is 6'2" and 215 pounds, by the way.
Wow.
Yes.
So when you say a load, that's what you mean.
He's a load.
Yeah.
And he can still skate a little bit. He's not a no slouch skating. And I'll get into it. There's another power forward on here. If you guys want to,
said absolute load.
If you want to prep for tomorrow's segment and know what I'm talking about, chat, go watch some Lindstrom highlights. He's a also massive power forward.
I do have a question for you as well. I know you're still finding that information, but I wanted to know, like, what do you believe are the top three needs for this Detroit Red Wings team in terms of types of play?
In the drafts, it would be a offensive defenseman to pair with Mo Sider. Even though we have two in the pipeline right now, I would like a third. I believe that the way to get this team to be the best possible, the quickest, is to build the best D-core in the league. And that's what I believe we're doing. We have so many good young prospects, and I have 3 defensemen on this list that I really like and I really have high grades on. The next one is a power forward, and then the third one is that's probably 3. 2 is probably a center, another center. We need another center like Larkin. Because Larkin isn't a number 1 center on a championship team, and that's hard to say, but it 100% is true. He's a number 2 center on a championship level team. And that's how deep you have to be. So when you're looking at this roster and them trying to win a championship, you have to be looking at, all right, Larkin is a number 2 center. Raymond is an arguable 1-2 wing. Sider's a number 1 defenseman. Neither of our goalies are good enough to win us a championship. And you need to just be going from there. Anyone who's playing a role higher than they need to be playing at the moment, there needs to be another guy brought in to fill that role and to be able to push people down the depth chart that shouldn't be as high as they are.
Dope. Thank you for that, brother.
No problem.
You had another question?
Not a question, but Jeff Olson said Conley had some ... racial stuff. So whatever that constitutes.
I'm reading that right now. Yeah.
Sheesh. The Snapchat thing.
I don't really fuck with that. So honestly, I might change who's on my number 7 tomorrow.
Yeah. It's all good.
I don't really do that shit. Yeah. I had some stuff in my past with some people that I lost some friends over. So I don't fuck with that shit.
I feel you.
Hey, well, you know what? I look forward to seeing what it's going to be tomorrow, and going to definitely prepare some questions, because obviously the one thing, whether you're a casual or a diehard Red Wings fan, the one thing we do know, especially with this guy up here on the screen right now, Stevie Yzerman, is that this team used to be royalty. Not just here in the city, but you're talking about everywhere in the entire world. To the point that sweater, it bled through pop culture, hip-hop culture. Everybody from Eddie Murphy to Tupac and beyond wearing this Red Wings jersey everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, and I know that Steve Yzerman, who was here for so long, I know what people call Derek Jeter. I don't care. The captain is Steve Yzerman.
Yeah.
One of your longest tenure captains, won a rack of championships doing it, and honestly, at the beginning of his career, defied what a lot of people thought that he could be. I trust in his vision for this team. And I know that what he's trying to do is bring them back to a place where they are invoking what they used to in the city of Detroit, man. I'm telling you, like, when I was younger, and I've told this story before in my introduction to the Red Wings, my mom worked for HOCK, which was one of their long-term sponsors for a long time. And so she used to go to games all the time. And I remember I was in like 1st or 2nd grade, and I asked her, like, yo, can I go with you? And just seeing that impact, bro, like a sea of red and white from everywhere, coming down the people mover steps, man, coming out of hotels, coming out of areas in Detroit that I didn't even know, like we're still going on, man. We're still a place that people even walking up the stairs to the Joe Louis Arena, being in that building and seeing that, man, it's like, get back there. Being in the building this year.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Talk about it, bro.
To your point, this year, man, you saw when they have a winning product on the floor, the fans will come out and support, man. So we do need to get back to being quote hockey town,
100%.
Yeah,
and
that's it right there.
I'd love to also answer a couple comments that I've been seeing. Justin, could we move up to get Ginla, Rando Smalls? I don't know if you're really going to have to move up for a Ginla. You might have to move up a spot or two, but he's mocked for 10 to 18, so you could definitely get a Ginla. I think there's a lot of players also similar to a Ginla, so I don't necessarily know if you need to give up assets to move up, but it's definitely something to explore. Ginla looks to be a very good prospect, and like I said, he has the pedigree, so that is important to me. And then Chase Amley, his favorite, we've been talking about it. He loves Stam Dickinson from the London Knights. I did think there's no chance you get him. There's no chance he falls out of the top 6. So unless you're willing to trade up to the 5 or the 6 pick, then I don't think that's gonna happen. So KG, what do you got?
Yeah, so Chase Amley was on the line. He wanted to talk some wings with you. So
fire up.
Yep. So Chase, you want to wake up?
Hey,
Chase?
Justin got his fight, getting a call.
Hey,
what a
my
day.
boy Chase, how we doing?
Hey, what up, though, everybody? How's it going,
Chase,
man?
where you at?
I am stoked about what
All right, let me
Stevie's
try and get
doing
Chase
right
back.
now.
Let me see.
I can hear him.
I can hear him. Yeah.
Oh, you can't. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can hear me?
oh,
okay,
I can
cool.
hear you.
Right,
I can
now,
hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear
Go
you now.
ahead.
My bad.
Awesome. I'm stoked about what Stevie's doing. I think about back in like the early aughts, like the 2000s and stuff like that, when there was a lot of wheeling and dealing going on with the wings. Like we had to, players like we had to trade Paul Coffey to like get better to help us get over the hump to get a cup. I think what Stevie's doing is taking the real patient approach. He's making sure that we have all of these guys coming in our pipeline that we are building, making sure they understand the Detroit culture. And by the time they take that first step on NHL ice, they're not really going to be going through as many of those rookie hiccups. They're ready to play. They're ready to contribute. And we're going to see a group of guys who are going to take so much pride in wearing that winged wheel. And they're going to get us back. I see the building blocks and the foundation of another 20-plus year playoff run being built here. And it's starting, we're starting defense first. We got our goaltenders for the next, 10 years set up in Kosa and Augustine. We are just filling up our decor with a bunch of, puck-moving, offensive-minded defensemen and some big-bodied physical freaks who are just going to pound you on the ice, not let you get into the offensive zone. I am super stoked. I'd love to get Stamkos in here to help just provide that leadership with Danielson, with Casper. I think you have Stamkos, Larkin, Comfer as your first 3 lines. You got a good forward group. And then I'd love Alec Martinez to come in. We need a left-handed defenseman since we lost Wallman. We have Simon Edvinsson, but he's going to need a little bit more leadership. I'd love to pair Mo Seider with someone like Alec Martinez, another multi-cup winner who can really provide a lot of leadership. We can get him on a short deal like Stamkos.
I'd rather have
maybe
Alec
2-3
Martinez
years.
on our second D pair because I think Seider would benefit a lot more from having an offensive defenseman be with him. And Alec Martinez is more of a two-way, a little more defensively known for his archetype. So I do want to bring in an offensive defensive for sure, and Alec Martinez, but I don't think that pairing is necessarily the best pairing for the Wings currently.
Hey, and that's fair. I'll give that up to you as you know a little bit more about hockey for sure, as someone who's played it a lot more. I think we haven't seen the full potential of Seider offensively.
Oh, 100%
and I think
we have
giving him someone like Alec Martinez to kind of give him a little bit of a, I don't want to call it training wheels, but Mo Seider's had a lot of responsibility on him solely to be that primary defenseman. I think if you give him someone like Alec Martinez to lean on and rely on a little bit more, we can see his true impact on the full 94 feet of the ice.
Yeah. I'd love to see his game take another step on the offensive side because if it does, he is going to be in the Norris conversation. If it does, he's already a top of the line defenseman, top 10 defensive defenseman, 100% in my mind. And if he takes a jump in the offensive category, I think he could definitely be in the top 5 case for defenseman. And if you're in the top 5 case for defenseman, you're in the Norris Trophy voting. So, what do you think about that? Do you think that is too much to ask for to think that Seider's going to be in the Norris conversation?
No, not at all. I think Seider, Edvinsson, and ASP all have Norris Trophy potential written on them, and I think just to have those to have 3 of those types of guys on your team is what is going to help propel us to such success for the long term. I think as long as we can lock these guys up, and if we can build them to their potential, even if they just get to the floor of their potential, they're going to be great contributors at the NHL level. And if we can get them to their ceiling or beyond what we think their ceiling is, then this team is truly going to be special.
Yeah, this team, I think, is building to a special place, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much for calling, Chase.
Yep.
We unfortunately have to go to break, though, but it was a pleasure talking to you, and have a great day. I will see you on Yin Yang.
Yeah, thank you for calling in, Chase. JB, what business do we have to take care of?
We got to do Dispo and Soroki's, and then we'll do some more on the way back in.
All right, let's tee that up. So we start with you with that one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Visit Dispo Dispensary today for deals too good to miss. Meet a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere and shopping experience. Try the freshest inventory for Michigan's largest variety of products. Come through our stores or order Dispo Dash today. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
And after you get some Dispo, you got to head over to get something to eat. So why not go to Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, because they are taking over.
Smack that shit yesterday was so gas.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. They're popping up all over Michigan. They got the grand opening on 13 locations in Madison Heights on DeQuinder Road, just north of 10 Mile. This Thursday, June 27th, from 4 to 8 p.m. Soroki's is giving away free pizza for 1 year to 3 lucky customers. And a $2,000 gift card giveaway. Can you believe that? $2,000?
I need 2 G's right now in the worst way.
That's a lot of Dispo and a lot of Soroki's.
I know, that's a lot of Dispo, a lot of Soroki's. So be sure to stop in today at the Madison Heights location, Soroki's. Now that's crispy, baby.
Let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
How would you like to play the University of Michigan golf course with Ermanni and Edwards? It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today and you could round off our foursome at woodwardsports.com or scan the code on the screen.
That sounded
When
weird.
it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. Randy Wise Automotive. Who wrote this read?
Right.
Who wrote this read and thought that was
sounded
good?
weird.
Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off your day
That's hilarious.
with the Woo Crew, man. Matthew Broder had to take off a little early today. Shout out to him and everything he does for this platform, this show, and our network, as well as the vet of the squad, Flannel Sam, who will be on Big D Energy today. We got that dude Justin up here. He hopped up here on the desk to make sure he could break down and tell you what to expect with this NHL draft that is happening tomorrow. And he's going to be bringing you more breakdowns on that on tomorrow's show as well. So I look forward to it. Good job, brother. I'm glad your pops got to call in and give you some encouragement.
That was hype.
Yeah, right before. And shout out to our elite booth as well. Detroit's #1 draft pick. We got KG in the sound booth. And we got Woodward Sports' MVP, JBSMOOOOOV in the Diddy booth. Whatever. But we have to, you know what? We'll let that breathe a little bit. We got to get into our Feldman Automotive mailbag segment. First, I got to tell you about Feldman Automotive. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast and convenient and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. All you got to do is visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest to you. Feldman Chevrolet is Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. And you can catch Woodward Sports live from there. One Wednesday out of every month. The first Wednesday out of every month, we are live. You can catch Wake Up Woodward and Big D Energy at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, which is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. Let us get into it now. Here you go, brother.
Yep.
It's time for our Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment presented by the Feldman Automotive Group. And I was going to say, you guys, let me know if you see anything
I got
that's
one
good
already.
in there, JB, especially if you had any from earlier. But if you have one, Justin, you can kick
I got
things
one right
off.
here.
If you see some JB, you follow up after
What
that.
does Steve do about the goaltending this year? He trades for John Gibson. That's my thing. John Gibson's under a 3-year contract. He fits the term that Kosa and Augustine will be up here, and he's not paid as much money as the premier goaltenders are being paid. So I really love that move and would be absolutely ecstatic if we pulled it off. KG?
Yep, speaking of Costa, Big Dan Davis, when do you think the Wings will call up Sebastian Costa? He's one of my favorite prospects.
25, 26. It will be next year. And hopefully John Gibson is here to mentor him, and he's our backup.
All right.
I see another one from Big Dan Davis as well, too. How are you guys feeling about the Pistons draft, and who's going to be the next coach? So I'm going to switch that up a little bit. What grade would you give that first round for the Pistons in their pick?
B minus.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a B.
Yeah,
it's the same type of player as all of the other ones that he was selected around. High potential guy, has some things to like, has a lot of things that he needs to improve. What up, though, KG?
No, I would say the same thing, around a B, probably B minus. But like I said, we just got to see, man. The development has to be there.
Yep, and as far as head coach, Sam Cassella's a guy that I really like. You're talking about a guy who just won a championship with the Boston Celtics as an assistant coach. He gets high praise from Joe Mazzulla as well, the head coach of the Celtics, who said that Sam Cassell did a lot for him. Sam Cassell's been an assistant coach in this league since 2009, starting with the Washington Wizards, when they were actually a good team.
Right.
And he's been credited by a lot of players and front office personnel as being a really good option to potentially lead a team.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at James Borrego, when you're looking at guys, I don't think that they're going to be able to get a Chris Quinn at all. But when you're looking at that, you're talking about more guys who either come from really solid cultures or have been a part of championship runs as well. So those are kind of the guys that I'm hoping that the Pistons are in on. But obviously JB Bickerstaff, who the Pistons are rumored in as well.
Bickerstaff.
That's not a bad option. I wonder why JB is very fond of JB Bickerstaff.
Oh, I don't know.
I wonder.
I wonder.
I don't know at all. But mailbag question, shout out to Dante151. Everyone, what jersey, non-Detroit, would you get? He says his would be the new Ducks jersey, which me and Justin have been drooling about too.
Oh, I love that
non-Detroit jersey that we would get.
Non-Detroit jersey.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm liking that City Connect jersey for the Cardinals. The Lou that boy is hard, man. I kind of want one of those.
The Arizona Serpentines jersey would have to be up there for me. I almost got it when I went to Arizona this year, but I went with the San Diego Digi-Camo jersey instead.
Non-Detroit.
Yeah.
I can see myself in a University of Michigan basketball jersey or hockey sweater.
Yeah.
Or football jersey, or even a baseball shirt, man. I can see myself in something that if we're talking non-Detroit. Let's go blue. Does that count?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it counts.
Like, not really, but
let's go.
But it counts.
I don't know, man. I've had a tough time with like wearing stuff from other teams. I think the one thing I did have from another team, it was from my dad. He used to go out to Arizona a lot for business. He was in the automotive industry, and they got a lot of plants and suppliers and such. And one of them gave him, I believe it was a Phoenix Coyotes hat.
Yeah.
And that was probably the only other thing that I would wear from another team, because I didn't even know that it was the Phoenix Coyotes. I just thought it looked cool.
I get the stigma.
Handed it to me.
More so when I go out of town, I like to rep my Detroit gear, let them know, hey, this is where I'm from, this is what I'm repping. But when I'm here, I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. My first jersey was a Patrick Ewing jersey, the old champion boys back in the day. So shout out, man. But I don't think it's that bad. I like wearing stuff from other teams. It just depends.
I did have one other jersey. Visited my aunt who lives out in Santa Monica, California. Used to visit her every year. And one year, she got me a Kobe jersey. So that is actually the only other Detroit Pro jersey I have. It's that Kobe jersey.
Well, that's a good one to have because Kobe's a legend. So
Hey, wait a minute. You guys remember the reversible jerseys?
Yeah.
That you flipped it inside out and it was like the alternate team jersey, I guess.
A lot of the GM jerseys I have are like that.
Yep.
Really?
Love it.
Yep. We used to have a couple hardwood classics too. Them hardwood classic jerseys.
I miss the years when those used to be kind of like giveaways too at the games. Where you could go there and you knew you were going to get like a little giveaway jersey with the sponsors
I
all
wanted
over
the
it.
Tigers hockey jersey that they came out with like a couple months ago. Have you
Yeah.
seen that? Oh, I wanted that
It's
so
hard.
bad.
That's hard.
But I got another mailbag question. The away fan says, no way they trade for a goalie. We already have 2 under contract. Justin, who do you pick if you move up to 10, Cole Yzerman or Burke Buchanan? So first of all, well, we have 2 goalies under contract, but you usually have 3 goalies under contract in the NHL. And we could also deal one of those 2 goalies in the deal for Gibson, which we probably will have to do because they will need an NHL level goalie to start for them. So that's what I say to that. The second one, I'd rather have Cole Yzerman. He is absolutely massive. He's huge. He can skate. He can handle the puck. He is one of the best shots that I've seen on an 18-year-old kid in my life. And I would be up here, stoked, not scared, absolutely riled up. Because I honestly think he is NHL ready. I would think that he plays in an NHL game next year, as in the 2024-2025 season.
Would you be rounding out somebody's foursome? Would you be that excited?
No, I don't think I'd be that excited.
You know what?
Foursome with Braylon Edwards.
Right.
No.
That is a setup read, bro.
Hey, yo.
I am not doing that read ever.
You know what?
Justin, that is your read from now on.
You know what? That is where is that a small ball Kool-Aid players? No, it is not. It is a regular size basketball. But
that's not a WNBA ball.
We go end it right there.
Yeah, man. Let's get out of here.
Oh, the chest pass.
Let's
go.
Justin
Right
got a
the
clean
pocket.
chest pass.
Right
man.
in the pocket.
You see the flick of the wrist and all that.
Look at the
Dude,
flick of the wrist.
I used to hoop in my lifetime.
In my lifetime. I like that, man. Let's break this thing down, chat family. This was an epic show. Who knew, man? We zoomed well beyond the light goal. We got a lot of views today. Got a lot of support, got a lot of engagement, got some great callers, man. Just talking Pistons and Red Wings. You sickos out there.
Right.
You sickos.
People don't like the Pistons,
Somebody told me that nobody want. Hey,
don't nobody watch the
talk
NBA,
Pistons,
though.
Don't talk Red Wings. I know Detroiters, man. Y'all love yours. And these Pistons and these Red Wings, no matter how much they're struggling, they are ours, man. We're diehards. We cry for them. We cheer for them. Yeah, listen, we get angry for them. We debate. We defend them, even probably when we shouldn't. It's our Detroit teams, man. Shout out to the Lions for getting it done right now, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Tigers, man.
I don't know if it's shout out to them.
I can't shout them out just yet.
Hey, look, this is still my team, man.
They still my team. Shout them out.
I'm shouting out all the squads, man. Listen, 5 games into 500, it sure beats 14 win season from the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
So I will take it, man.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
I'll take it. But shout out to the chat family, though, because for us, I used to think that the most fun part of this thing and the most interesting part was going to be what we get to do when we interact with the pro teams and such. But to this date, I've been at Woodward Sports since it was 6 months old. That's when I signed my contract. To this date, the best things other than working with the crew has been interacting with you all. The support, the engagement, it's been awesome, especially when we get to do these live shows and we've been able to meet some of you all as well. It's been dope. Freddie Felt, Chase Amley, and there's been so many others. Dabber, Tammy Chin.
I hope to meet
Ray.
more of you in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's so fulfilling, man. It really is a family. I believe Eric said that on his call earlier. So let's break this thing all the way down. Shout out to Broder. Shout out to Flannel Sam. Also part of our Wake Up Woodward crew. Our credentialed Lions and Tigers reporter, Matthew Broder, and the vet of the squad. Shout out to Dat Suit in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
We got that dude, Justin, 6th man of the squad. Great job on your Red Wings today, man.
Yo,
definitely proud
you know what they say
of
about
you and
6th
happy
man?
for you.
Hey, they can come in, get a couple buckets for you, really take over a game.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
that's what I
listen.
did today. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Corliss Williamson, let's rock, man. Let's
Homie
rock.
J Crossover.
Hey. Hey, you know what? Go Blue, J Crossover.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, Jamal Crawford.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. a.k.a. Black Hollywood, going for that Woodward Sports MVP. What up, though, KG?
Hey, you know it, man. Appreciate the chat. Appreciate my team, man. Shout out to Justin holding it down on the desk. Very proud of him, man. And let's keep this shit rolling, man. Hey, tune in tomorrow to watch me get that Bar King title, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm coming for the crown, baby.
I'm tapped out, man. Like, I am so tapped out. I don't know what these bars are going to be for me tomorrow, but I got KG as the early clubhouse winner.
I'll be struggling.
This has been a week, man.
Heads tomorrow, man.
Hey, Woodward Sports, so y'all watching round 2 of the NBA draft. Big Dan Davis, we are, and I will be going live on Woodward Pistons sometime today after our Soroki's event.
What time does it start today? Round 2?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay,
Pistons
cool.
53rd pick, I believe, overall. So, shout out to Woodward Sports' MVP in the TD booth. That is JBSMOOOOOV.
JBSMOOOOOOV.
What up,
yo, what's going on, fellas? Hey, so proud of you, Justin, man. Up on the desk, doing big things. Tune in tomorrow. As KG said, we got Bar Kings going on. I can't wait to figure out these bars. I got to write later on today. But, man, I'm still coming from that title. But hopefully the Pistons get it done with this second pick that they got in this next round. As of right now, we're still looking for a coach. So here comes Juwan Howard.
It is what it is.
Let's not do that.
No, definitely not doing that.
Incoming Juwan Howard.
Yeah, stop it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let's draft Bronny, too. Let's just do all the bullshit.
Let's do
hey,
all
they
this.
are friends. You know, LeBron James, Juwan Howard. Maybe they just get the whole band back together. Right here in Detroit to just spite Detroit Kool-Aid. So, but you know, hey, it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Detroit Pistons beat writer and reporter. I appreciate you guys, man. Have a great day. Thank you for supporting Wake Up Woodward. Smash that like button on your way out. Have a good blessed one, y'all. Let's go.